talk about really when you first started getting serious about singing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't have the very typical coming into music or the arts like so many people do. I didn't really start singing until I went to high school. I went to the Las Vegas Academy of the Arts for choir, and that's kind of when I actually started singing like full time. I remember I had this performance in a class called vocal jazz my freshman year, and it wasn't a class that freshmen were supposed to be in, but I was in it because there weren't any other available elective classes, and I was so nervous to sing. We all had to sing the same song, so I came home and I practiced here, and I went back and I was so nervous. But then when I sang it, I remember everyone jumped out of their seat and like were applauding me, and it was such a special moment. And that's like when I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
In your own words, really, what does singing mean to you?
Well, I think singing has always been a part of my life. I just didn't take it seriously really until I was in high school. But I think it's just something that has always come naturally to me, I think. So I feel like it's such a huge part of me as a person. So I think it's kind of like an extension of my soul, kind of.
Walk me through the decision to get a TikTok.
Yeah, so it was right when the pandemic hit. I was like, okay, well, I found myself having more time than I would if I were actually at school all day. So I was like, what can I do with my time? And I was already on TikTok, like just kind of like just scrolling through videos, looking at other people do it. I was like, well, I could probably do it too. And I posted my first video, it did okay. Then my second video, and it got like 300 likes. And at the time, that was like so many likes. So I like ran downstairs and told my parents, and they were so excited. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to just continue to do this and see where it can lead me. Um, and from there, it just went up, and I kept posting and have gotten so many great opportunities since then. Now having like 700,000 followers, which is insane. And I can't believe that that many people like want to see me all the time singing. But it's really heartwarming and touching, and people always leave the nicest comments ever on their and Instagram as well.
There's so much has happened over the past year,
Yeah.
and how you've been able to connect with people through TikTok in that way.
Yeah, when I originally sang Rise Up, I sang it actually in May. And I would sing it, but I wouldn't post it. I would re record it and I wouldn't post it because I wouldn't feel the connection to the song. And the song itself has been a soundtrack for so many movements in the past since it came out. But I think recently, especially the Black Lives Matter movement, and when all of the events in June and the protests in June happened, I re-sang the song and kind of unconsciously was able to connect to it more and was able to feel the emotion and the words of the song more. And I think with me feeling it, people out there were able to feel it as well.
What is that like to be less than a year old on TikTok and all of a sudden having Lizzo,
Yeah.
Sam Smith? Wow.
No, it's really crazy because you listen to these artists and you follow them for such a long time, and then for them to look at you and then start to follow you, and it's just insane. After the Super Bowl, actually, I got a comment that Megan Trainor put on my TikTok, and she said, "Oh my God, I listened to it and I just immediately knew that that was your voice on the commercial." Which to me was like insane. I was like, how does Megan Trainor even know who I am, let alone know my voice? But yeah, it's been great, and just for people to reach out to me and say the things that they do is it's just amazing.
So you get a call from Indeed in January of this year. Tell me about the process of them reaching out.
So it was actually from an ad agency in LA who was representing Indeed, and it was a direct message on Instagram, and she said that they were working on this campaign and if I would love to be a part of it. And I said, of course. So she said, can I have your email? And I gave it to her, and she said it was actually going to be for Indeed. And I said, oh wow, that's such a huge company. I can't wait to do it. And then she said it was actually going to be for the Super Bowl, and I like freaked out. I said, oh my gosh, for the Super Bowl. And then she told me that she wanted me to sing Rise Up in it, and I was like, okay, wow, this is really huge, and especially for their first Super Bowl commercial ever. And it was such an amazing process working with them. We re-recorded the song just here in the house, and they were all so kind and had such nice things to say, and I keep getting reached out by employees of Indeed as well saying, "Hey Christian, we love you on this song, and we're so excited to see you, and we're so happy to see what you have to do next." And it's been amazing working with them as well.
Was it special to be able to sing this song, but also kind of bring some comfort and almost inspiration to people?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think when they told me the story of the commercial and like how it was going to feature actual Indeed users on the commercial, it was so easy to get behind. Because people go through things all the time, but I think through the pandemic, people have been hit really, really hard, especially when it comes to losing their jobs, and especially here in Las Vegas. Like you see it every single day, and I think the song itself, the lyrics of the song are at the beginning talks about you're broken down and tired, and at the end of the song it talks about and we'll rise up high like the waves. And I think the message of the song, along with the stories of the actual Indeed users, it just tied it all together for me, and it made it so much better.
To be surrounded by your family in such a big moment for you, just personally, what was that like?
That was so, my family is my everything, and they are just my biggest supporters and have always been throughout my entire life, and especially since I began singing, they have always been there to support me. So having them all around me to witness that moment was really, really nice, and it was really huge for all of us.
What is next for you? Do you have any other plans? Where do you want this to take you?
I'm hoping that other opportunities like this, or even bigger ones, come from this. And Indeed was so great in saying that that's what they wanted for me as well. And them using me for the commercial, they really hope the best for me. And they were so nice in putting me in touch with great people and putting me out to so many people who could help me in the music industry as well.
At that point, did you ever think you'd have nearly 1 million followers, be in the Super Bowl? Did you ever think that?
No, to be honest, I hoped for it, but I never thought that it would come, and especially this quick, since me beginning to post. And I think it means so much to me that people enjoy my voice enough to think that I would even be good enough to do a local commercial, let alone the Super Bowl that's broadcast to tens of millions of people.
Yeah. And also with TikTok, now you have been named as one of their trailblazers for this month.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about that opportunity and what that comes with.
Yeah, so I was nominated from other Black creators on TikTok to be named a TikTok Trailblazer. And once I was actually awarded it, it was such a rewarding feeling. Again, just to think that people thought that my voice, as a prominent person in the Black creator TikTok community, was good enough to be considered a trailblazer was huge for me. And TikTok, they have been also so kind to me, reaching out and messaging me saying, we can help you with this on furthering your platform. And it's been great. I think all of the creators that they chose, there's 14 of us, and all of them that they chose have been fantastic. And they all are so specific and individual in their own crafts and their own pages. And I think that's what really ties everyone together, is that we're all different, but we're all the same in a way.
Well, also, I forgot to ask you, what was the reception like from your friends and were they kind of freaking out? Did you have to keep it a secret?
Yes. So I couldn't tell them at all until 2 days before the Super Bowl. And then when I finally was able to tell everyone, I got just the nicest messages from all of my friends and all of my family, and them reposting things on their pages and their stories. And everyone was so kind. And even my parents' friends as well were reposting and messaging them. And right after the commercial aired on the Super Bowl, our phones just blew up. Like literally as soon as the commercial ended, we all got like 30 text messages each, everyone that was there. And I think the reception of the commercial has been so great, not only from people in the public, but also people that we know personally.
Alan Shelton, Allen, Shelton, Shelton.
And I'm Wendy Shelton, Wendy Shelton. I think it's, interestingly enough, he started singing a little later in life, but as a child, he did sing. We noticed that he sang. We have one video when he was 9 years old, and he was singing that popular Justin Bieber song, Baby, Baby, and we actually recorded that. But he did lots of other things too. He played sports, he did art, he did all types of other things. And then,
Gymnastics.
but when he got into high school and he sang as a freshman, he sang a Sam Smith song in an assembly, and the crowd just roared. And that was our first video, and that we saw him singing his first solo. And the reception from the crowd was unbelievable. And so
Right.
that's when I knew I know this is where he's going.
Yeah.
This is
We had no
real.
clue about it. It was a
Yeah.
surprise to us.
Yeah.
Someone sent it to us, and we were like, wait a minute, is this you? Why? What is this going on? It was just him on stage, and the people were going crazy. I'm like, what is going on here? And I was like, I was thoroughly proud. I mean, I was really proud as a dad, but I'm like, wow, I did not know you had this in you. I knew you could sing, but I didn't know that you were unafraid to be in front of people and sing,
Yeah.
which is another level. So that
It is.
just blew us away.
And so when it comes to TikTok, were you guys supportive of that from the beginning? What was that like? Because I feel like last spring, none of us really knew what TikTok was.
Yeah, you answered it. To be
That's
honestly, I had no idea of what TikTok was, and
Right.
initially I was like, well, why are they cutting you off after 1 minute? And
Yeah.
now I'm one of the biggest fans and supporters of TikTok, because I just think it's just a nice little excerpt. I don't think we, comprehend things too long anyway, but it's a nice little excerpt, and it's a teaser,
Yeah.
to what a sensational artist Christian and so many others are. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of it. It has opened so many doors for him, and
Yeah.
made his voice available to so many people who need healing. Some of the comments that they mention are, your voice is healing. It's like a hug. It makes my day. I start off on a good day when I hear your voice. So to see comments like that from hundreds of thousands of people, and then, some of the celebrities that have taken the time to endorse Christian or duet with him or make comments about his music, as a parent, that's just the most gratifying thing we could ever ask for.
Yeah. I mean, I had no clue to be honest, I had no clue what TikTok was. I just knew it was one day back when the pandemic first hit, and I had to show a home, I had to preview a home, and he wanted to come in, and he says, oh, Dad, this is a vacant home. Do you mind I do a TikTok? And I'm like, whatever that is, okay. So he's singing in his home with his mask and gloves on, and that video was the first video that we thought viral was more than 20 people, and he did like 300. We were like, what?
300,000.
Off of a song you just did in a house that I was showing and with gloves on? I mean, but it was from that point, and we started thinking, I said, just keep pushing. Keep engaging with people, keep pushing out, because whatever you did on that video connected somewhere with someone. So just keep doing more of that, and just be frequent, be consistent with it. And he put in the effort, which I'm so proud of it, is his consistency, because nothing is gained without work. And he has been working and pushing his videos and because he's such a humble kid. I mean, he really has great humility, and I think we're happy that he has that, because you want to pour in your kids what you want the world to look like. So I'm grateful for that, and just his effort of just working and understanding that nothing is given to you. You have to push through, and you have to work at it. And to see what it has come to, it blows my mind at the same time, but I know he has done the work with TikTok. And I'm so grateful I'm grateful to TikTok for him having that vehicle of seeing and exposing his talent. We know he has talent, but now I feel like a lot more people know he has talent. So we're really grateful for that.
When you guys found out about that, what was that like?
They found out before me. I was actually I work from home, but I was on a Zoom call working, and I'm just talking and trying to present stuff, and they're all behind me going, oh my gosh, you have to, and I'm like, and I'm going, stop it. And so when I got off the phone and they told me, I couldn't believe it. But you guys found out before me.
Yeah. Well, he brought it to me, and some things are so incredibly big that you kind of like, I don't believe
A little
that.
apprehensive.
Yeah, but after talking to the people behind the scenes, the ad agency, and having Zoom calls, I'm like, okay, this is a real thing here. This is a real thing, you know, because I could text someone something, and you know, my buddy or something, he's like, yeah, I don't believe it, but this completely blew our mind once we got into it. I mean, it's just like, oh, what? Super Bowl? You know, and as it comes and as it builds to that day, we just couldn't really sleep much. You know, it's just
Yeah, I haven't
anxious.
slept
We
since
just
then.
like, well, what is it going to look like? How is it going to sound? And it was just incredible. I mean,
Yeah, we went from getting that getting that great news, and then, you know, doing all the behind the scenes work, and then not being able to tell anyone for so
that
long.
part was hard.
That was just, I mean, I can't even, it was just gut wrenching
Yeah.
having to not tell anyone and
Yeah.
being that excited about it. And,
Oh yeah.
and you know, he actually shot it right upstairs in our game room. And
Yeah.
for him to, he's such a professional too when it comes to that, all the technology and all the behind the scenes. He's very, very good at that. And
Yeah.
they guided him via a Zoom link, and he was able to do it.
Yeah.
And we're just so proud of him. And the one thing that I do want to say with Christian too is, and my husband alluded to it earlier, he's just such a good human being. And we're faithful people, and we believe that, you know, with the good that he does, if you keep working, something good is going to happen to you.
Right.
And that's what we never knew something this big would happen so
Right.
soon. But we do believe that if you just continue, you know, to be the good human being that you are, and try to serve as an encouragement to others, that eventually it would happen. So
Yeah.
to see this happen at 19 years old,
Right.
it's just, it warms our hearts.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
As a parent in that moment, you know, seeing all of his hard work really come to fruition right there, and to, you know, be surrounded by family and him. What was that like for you? Is it special?
Oh my gosh, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
It was, we had obviously seen the commercial beforehand, but purposely waited to not watch it on a bigger screen because we wanted to have that feeling during the Super Bowl.
Right.
So for me, even having, you know, watched the commercial, I don't know how many times, just to see it on the big screen in that moment, it was just indescribable. And, you know, he was sitting right next to me, and I was watching it and just, you know, lost it in the middle of the song, and just
Yeah.
was crying uncontrollably, and just thinking, son, look at what you've done. Look at the impact that you've made in such a short time. And
Yeah.
you know, just keep being who you are, and I believe more opportunities will come like that. And
Yeah.
it just, to see it come to fruition, it's just something I can't describe. And
Yeah,
Alan,
yeah. I was torn from trying to be excited and hug him and videotape the same. I'm like, what do I do? Do I hug and film the commercial? Because you know, my dad is sitting next to me. He's no help. He's crying. You know, my wife is over there, and I'm trying to get it all. I'm like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? I want to capture the moment, but I want to be in the moment. So it's, you know, it's that feeling where, as a parent, you just, it's so indescribable that it's like, you know, when you first have them, you know, oh, this is my son.
yeah,
This is going to be, and I have so much hope for my son. And in 19 years, to see what is now, just his future is so bright, you know, because I'm thinking, how many 19-year-olds actually have had a Super Bowl commercial where their voices and the cost that it takes to produce a Super Bowl commercial, and it just blows my mind, you know, just to think about all the undertaking behind that and who the help came from. And that's what we're always so appreciative, because you can't do it by yourself, but people support you. You know, they see something in you and they give you the shot. You know, he took his shot and he's knocked it out of the box. That's what I would say.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you guys want to add about this whole experience, what you hope for him moving forward? Anything I didn't ask about?
well, one of the things that I just would like for people to know about Christian is that he's just so diverse in his genres of music,
Right.
and you may have seen that as well. And he didn't say it, but he's oftentimes said, you know, he just doesn't want to be put in a box
Right.
as this type of singer or that type of singer. You know, he started off mainly with R&B and pop music, and he's oftentimes compared to both Luther Vandross and Sam Smith. But from that, he said, you know, I can do everything. So he's classically trained, and he can sing the best arias.
Yeah.
He's won competitions in that arena for the best vocalist in the state of Nevada for singing classical music. And I just love that he can do a Luther cover and a Sam Smith and a Lady Gaga and then do classical songs as well, and
Right.
really put his all into each and every one of them. And that's how he's garnered so many different types
Right.
of followers,
Yeah.
because he's so well versed in that. And in a time, you know, we try to teach our kids that they can do and be anything that they can be. And as a freshman, he was told, you know, when he was performing in front of an adjudicator for classical music,
In high school,
freshman in high school, when he finished, he said, the gentleman said, so do you sing pop and R&B? And he said, yes. And he told him, oh yeah, I can hear that in your tones, or I'm not sure if that's the word, but he said, I can hear that in you. And then he suggested that he just stay in that lane. And had Christian stayed in that lane, you know, it may not have led to the opportunities, but he continued to push and pursue in the classical arena, and he's excelled there,
Then
as
came
well as
back and won it
pop
twice.
and R&B and jazz and rock. He can sing, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody like
Yeah.
like anybody's business. So that's the part that I just want people to know about him, is he wants to do any and everything that he can. He loves to be challenged by all different opportunities, and as a result, he's excelled in all those different genres. And he's
Yeah.
very modest, so that's why we have to say those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I think what my wife is saying is that you got to stay encouraged, even in light of what's going on currently, or what someone may say to you negatively. It's just know who you are as a person, and stay within yourself and push your light out. And people will see that, regardless of who is so covered up that they can't see your superstar. You know, and I thank God that my son took that one moment. You know, as a parent, you're like, I'm ready to fight, but but he took it and he made it work for him. And in the next year, he won as the best male vocalist for 2 years running in the state of Nevada. I don't know who has ever done that before, but he took that and he made it work for him. So he turned it around. So I think you just have to stay positive, because you got to go through something to get to something. And you got to keep that in your head to know that. You know, if you see something and it don't feel good, it don't feel right, just know you can go around it, go over it, go through it, do whatever it is. Stay focused on that purpose, and you will find your purpose.